In this video, I'm going to show you how to do automatic segmentation of remote sensing imagery using image captioning and SAM3. In the last video, I already showed how to, for example, use text prompt and also bounding box to do segmentation on remote sensing imagery. The downside is that you need to know the text prompt in advance, and it also only allows one text prompt at a time. For example, if you have a satellite imagery, you want to detect the buildings, you will need to know that it's buildings so that you can enter the text prompt. But if you have multiple classes you want to extract, for example, buildings, trees, houses, or roads or something like that, the model cannot handle multiple prompts. So you need to iterate through the prompts to do that, and it's not very efficient. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can automate the process to figure out what's in the imagery, and the program will handle the rest. So you just give the imagery, and then the program will be able to handle and then extract the features that needed. You can also provide a list of features you want to extract, and then you don't have to worry about understanding what is in the imagery. It's not going to be perfect, but it might save you a lot of time. So let's get started. First, you need to download the novel examples. Go to the link in the video description, or go to the SamGeo website. And then from on the left side, click examples, scroll down to find here SAM3 automatic segmentation. Just click on that, and then from here you can either run this one using Google Colab. So right click, open Google Colab, and then click runtime type, change the runtime type to T4 GPU, and then just click save. After that, uncomment this one, then you can install the package, then you can follow through. You will need to have access to the the SAM3 model on Hugging Face. In the previous video, I already showed you how to access that. So for this video, I'm just going to show that on my local computer. And in terms of image captioning, it's basically you let the model figure it out what's in the image. So first we need to import the library. Here I'm showing it, maybe I switch this one here. We can import the same Geo3 and also the image captioner from the caption module. So just run this one. It's able to import all the functions and classes that we need. Next, we're going to download the sample data. So this is a sample satellite imagery we used in the previous tutorial. Then we can just run it to see the imagery interactively. And this is a high resolution satellite imagery that shows buildings and trees. After that, we can just let the model figure out what's in the imagery. And for this one, we're going to use the Salesforce BLIP image captioning base. And we're also going to use the Spatial model here. I mean, you can use the default one if you know what which model you are using. You can pass in the model here. This one is a relatively small size, so we can just use this one. And then once you have this initialize this captioner, after that you can just simply analyze the imagery. So we have downloaded the imagery, save on local path, then you can just run this one. So it's going to answer and understand the imagery. So the caption is on aerial view of a city with many buildings, and it's indeed. So this is a satellite imagery covering UC Berkeley. So it's a campus imagery. You can see a lot of large buildings here, and also a lot of trees, roads, and other stuff. And this is just give you an overview. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. The nice thing about this is it allows you to even provide a list of keywords. So you can include the features and also exclude the features. In this case, by default, if you're looking at this one here, if you're trying to extract the key features, you will know this in the area view with city with many buildings. And there are several nouns here, view, city, and buildings. And certainly the keywords, the features is buildings. And the model is able to figure it out automatically by itself. And this is the base model. I believe there's also a large model. So the large model is much larger. It might give you more information, but you need to have a large GPU to enroll to that. In this case, I'm loading the large model, and we can try to see if there's any different. So look at this one right now. It's giving you an aerial view with a city with a lot of buildings and trees. A lot. Actually, this one should be excluded because the lot is not really, it can be a parking lot, but it's not really a lot of buildings. So it should exclude this one. And so here we have 3 features. If this is the one that you don't need, so I can say exclude features equal to maybe lot, okay? And the imagery, we don't really need this one, so this should exclude the lot. So look at this one right now, we only have 2 features left, and this is how it's automated. So now I don't even have to tell SAM3 which prompt to use. So especially if you have a lot of imagery to process, this is going to help you a lot of time, because you don't need to iterate through the SAM3, because it takes time and it wastes a lot of resources. But right now, using the image captioning, we can let the model figure it out, okay, there's mostly buildings and trees. So if this is what you want, you can just pass this one to SAM3, because you can do that programmatically. Also, if you don't need the trees, I can also have here tree. It's going to exclude, so it's going to analyze the imagery, and after that we only have 1 features left. If you just interested in buildings, residential area, or roads or other stuff, so the imagery, if it contains that feature, you will figure it out. And the rest of the process is the same, because the SAM3 allows you to enter a text prompt, and let's initialize the SAM3 model here. It's going to take a couple seconds. We're going to use the GPU, load it into the GPU, and after that we can set the imagery. So it's the same imagery that we're using here, right? Just SAM3.set image, and that's it. After that, we don't need to, right now for the text prompt, we don't need to specify the hard-coded the text prompt. Everything is going to derive automatically based on the image captioning. So we might have multiple features, for example, and you can look through that if you need to. For example, if you want to have all the features extracted automatically, you can say for features in features, and then SAM3.generate mask, passing the prompt, and that's it. So now you don't need to specify the prompt. So in this case, the first one is the building. It found 46 objects, and that's good. So this is what we want. And keep in mind here, we don't need to specify prompt buildings. So if you give another imagery, and the imagery has buildings, has trees, and other stuff, you will be able to figure it out. So because every imagery might be different, it might not always contain the features you want to extract. So if it doesn't contain anything, you can skip that, so it can save you some computational resources. After that, we can just show the annotation, and it's going to basically plot all of them and then shows you the result. I think this one right now is a little bit slow. I can probably improve it a little bit, but this is what we have here. Especially you have a lot of features. It's going to take some time to plot that, and looks good. You see, we didn't specify anything. We just give the imagery to the image captioning, and figure out it is buildings, and then it's going to extract all the buildings, and that's it. Then show the result. After that, I can show you the mask. So for the mask, basically just the unique, each mask has a unique ID. So if this is something you want to export, you can do that as well. After that, you can save the mask. It's going to automatically based on the feature name, mask, and then save the mask. Also, you can save the confidence score, just like what we did in the previous video. Then you can show the mask, and also you can show everything on the single imagery. So take a look. It's basically fully automatic. We don't need to do anything. So now if I run this one, you will see the score, and you can change the opacity, right? So super useful and easy to use. Like I said, if you run through the source code, there's nothing saying about the buildings. It's automated. So I can run this one again just to quickly show you, right? It's fully automated. So you can pass this one to change your imagery to your own data. It doesn't matter. And then one thing that you only need to change is probably here when you're doing the image captioning. And in here you can include the features. Imagine you, for example, your features include buildings, roads, and other stuff. I can do here include buildings. You can use the default one. It's going to detect some of the key features appear in satellite imagery. So for here I can do buildings, maybe road. Oops. And maybe trees and water. If this is something you want, I can certainly extract that, and then I exclude the lot. Okay, and if I run this one, you see I right now have buildings and trees. So I have two classes, and in here you only need to just to give a loop. So it's going to show you how many, and you can also change the confidence score and everything, right? So it can also change the size. For here, I can do this one. I can say for feature in features, and then I can generate the text prompt. Inside here, you also need to save the mask within here. But if I run this one, it should be able to figure it out. Okay, 46 object and then 49 objects. So it's pretty quick. And this is super useful if you already have a predefined list of features you want to extract, then you can use this way to do the automation without having to figure it out or looking at individually, or these buildings in this one, the buildings on that in that, the other one, something like that. So again, it's something that you can certainly adapt to other applications. And this one is not only for geospatial data, you can also apply to other non-geospatial data. So let me show you here. For example, I have another imagery showing you the traffic sign, and let me open this one. I can open this one in the browser here. As you can see, it's just a traffic sign with trees and grasses and roads and other stuff. And if you're working on maybe transportation, you want the model to automatically detect the traffic sign, and or maybe there's some others. For example, it can be speed limit and other stuff. Each image is going to be different, so you might not know what's in there, and you have to manually enter the text prompt to each same model in order to figure it out. But this is the power of using image captioning. So we don't have to know what's in there. The model, the image captioning, we know. And let me show you how we can do that here using the same way that I just show you. So I'm going to copy this URL and then come back here. And so let me restart the kernel. All I need to do is just to replace this one with our own imagery. The traffic sign imagery. Okay, after that, just one here to import the model, and then I'm going to download this imagery. The difference here compared to geospatial data is that you cannot really use the add raster because it needs georeference. But if you want to see what it looks like, you can just create a new code block and then just say sam.show image, and then we haven't initialized the SAM3 yet. So let me just do the ask this one to do the image captioning first to see what's inside. Okay, it's done loading the model, and then look at this. So it's going to there's a yellow sign that has 30 miles per hour. Wow, it's pretty cool. So you can even read the numbers, and this is something that you can certainly when you're extracting the features, you can use it to include numbers and other stuff. So 30 miles PS and the road and on the side of the road, right? So here, if you say, oh, there's a yellow sign, blah, blah. I think if I change this one to the base, I remember that it actually give you different result. It's going to show you the arrow. Oh, it's just a yellow arrow on it, right? So a sign, a yellow. So for example here, exclude features. If the feature going to include, I think I know the problem, because we specify this include features, and by default it's going to, if they're not there, they're not going to be extracted. So you should remove this one if you want to, or even you can exclude all of them. And now if I run this one, you will see we have the arrow, the row, and the sign, and that's correct. But there are also some trees and grasses in there. So if this is something you want, you can maybe change this one to large again and run it and see if we get any different result. Okay, look at this. Now we have MPS, we have row, we have sign, we have side. The side probably need to be excluded. So for example, if your goal is to extract the traffic sign, in this case here is just a sign. So let's see if we can extract that. And I'm going to, because we have a list of features here, I'm going to initialize the same model. And like I said, you can loop through all the features if needed, but I'm just going to simply just use one. So I'm going to say features are equal to FEATURE equal to feature maybe -1. All right, I'm just as an example, but you don't want to hardcode it -1. Usually you want to loop through. So here the last one is sign. So let's just run this one. It's going to find, okay, 2 objects, and then let's show the annotation. And you see, it's so powerful. So I don't even need to, it's just going to detect the sign. So I don't have to it detect all the 4 features, but you can do whatever you need to, right? It depends on what you want. So what we need to do is just include in your image captioning here. Let me show you one more time. In the where is it? Yeah, in the image captioning here, just say include, for example, include features. So here we can have multiple. So I can do, for example, sign, and then maybe row, okay, or maybe tree, and maybe grass, whatever you like. So here, you want to detect pretty much everything in imagery. You know what the predefined class, and let's run this one to see what you get. So row and sign. So in this case, it doesn't detect the tree, but if you like I said, if you know the exact prompt you want to use, you can use it directly in the same model. But we're going to automate the process. So in this case, we have 2 features we're going to extract. Then we come back to here. We say for features, and then generate the mask. After that, we can say same3 doc-show annotation. Let's see how it works. So I'm going to run this one. Found 2 objects, and it also has the rows. Wow. Oh, so basically 2 objects. The first one here is the feature is row, and the second one is just the sign. So it gives you 2 results. Pretty cool. If you want to be more explicit, you can say print generating mask for features for blah blah, and then run this one. Okay, generating mask for row, and it automatically detect the rows here in this side. And then there's also the sidewalk. But you can certainly extract the grass as well. Look at the sign and the speed limit. Pretty cool, right? And then after that, you can save the result. So just going to show you an example. So it can be applicable to both SETA imagery and also just regular JPEG and PNG, something like that. So if this is something that you find useful, feel free to adapt to your own imagery, and leave comments down below to see if you have any suggestions to make it even better. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.